Today is March 28th, and I'm interviewing Mr. Aquaba for my career research project. I am researching the career of an electrical engineer technician. Mr. Aquaba, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yeah, you already hit the record button. No, of course you did. Go ahead.
Okay. How is your subject matter related to my career interests of electrical engineer technician?
Man, that's probably the toughest one I've had so far. But the way I think about it is that as electrical engineering, throw the electrical out. And in history, think about engineering. Think about the creation of the pyramids. Who made that? A bunch of engineers, right? Think about the Brooklyn Bridge and those kind of things. So the way that what we're going to be studying is the way that things that people build and the tools and the techniques we use to create our life and our world. Because that's what you're going to be doing. You're saying, I'm going to create this electrical circuit. I'm going to create this situation where we can make this computer even smaller because of the new technology I'm going to create or make, right? So you'll be able to see how technology moves throughout history. Have you ever seen one of the first computers like online or anything like that? Like looked at a video or looked at a picture of how they looked? Exactly. That's what we're going to do in my class, where we study the 1940s and 50s and how the first computers are. Do you know they were so big that at University of California, Irvine, they had to cut the wall out and use a crane to get those computers out because they couldn't go down the stairs. Electrical engineering, computer engineering, those kind of things that you can see how things change. So I think it's not directly related, but it gives you that kind of like, oh, I see where it's coming from. I see what I can do. I think a lot of times all you need to know is that you can make a difference or you can change the world, and then you want to do it more. If you don't think you're going to do well, you're like, so I think that's part of it for me.
How will your class prepare me for my career interests?
Well, do you want to get a job?
Yeah.
Of course you do. Well, my class, it may not be directly to engineering, that kind of thing, but you're going to have to be able to write and create your own resume. You'll be writing in my class. You're going to have to be able to research and find out what worked in the past and what you can use now, right? Researching, right? You're going to have to do an interview. Man, we're going to have to talk. You're going to be able to talk, shake hands, this. And they're going to ask you a bunch of questions like you're asking me a bunch of questions. In a history class, you might do a historical role play where you become someone, where you become Thomas Edison, the guy who harnessed electricity, and you have to describe that and talk about that. And it might help you in your interviews. So that's part of it.
What makes your class unique in comparison to other classes in Los Angeles?
Well, part of what we're doing right now, I think not just my class, but the school. The fact that we have such a good connection of all the classes from grade level to teacher. I mean, I've seen you maybe 2 or 3 times this whole school year, but we get to have this project because there's a ninth grade project. But as far as in my room every day, I think what makes it unique is me. I I think I'm pretty darn good at it, and I'm also just very energetic and happy and trying to push and tug, and so that's part of it. Also, the ways I try to bring forth history. I want history to be fun, and not fun like oh my god we're watching TV and it's fun, but fun like dude why did that happen? Like it's fun that makes you think, fun that makes you say what are we gonna do about this? Kind of like what you guys been doing with the Hunger Games, where it's fun and it's interesting, but it makes you think about real life. And so I think that that's what I drive home every day, make it unique in my classroom.
How do you implement character education to your class?
I have a question. How am I treating you right now? Good, bad, or otherwise?
Good.
Am I treating you with character?
Yeah.
That's what I do every day. I modeled it. I want every single one of my students to see it every day from me. Therefore, they can do it. Also, I just hold them to the school rules in the classrooms that deal with character, with respect, looking people in the eye when you speak with them, shaking their hand tough, all those kind of things. I'm always trying to make sure that they can see the right thing so they can do the right thing. And then really having punishment without anger. You know what? You did something wrong. It's wrong. Let's fix it. As opposed to you're an idiot. Like who needs that? Nobody needs that. It's too much energy, right? So it's really about punishment without anger, just being respectful, and they give it back to myself and to the other students.
Does your class relate to my job description?
I think does it? I think it. Like I said, I think it kind of does, just based on what has happened in the past with engineering, what you can do with it. Yeah, I think it has some relation to it. And also, you just have to be able to speak to people. I'm telling you, man. A lot of people think I'm just going to be in the office and I'm going to make this. No, you have to speak with your colleagues and everything else. And forget your job. Do you like to laugh? Do you like
Yeah.
jokes? if you don't know things in history, if you don't know things in social circumstances, somebody will bring something up and you'll sound like Scooby Doo. You know when they make a joke and Scooby goes, "I don't get it." That's what's gonna happen, man. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be the best engineer, but no one invites you to parties. You want to be a great engineer, and you never get an opportunity to go to on the trips because no one you don't know anything else besides engineering. So yeah, it does relate. It makes I don't know if it relates directly, but it makes you a well-rounded person.
How can you help me with my job description?
How can I can get you through any interview you want. I can make sure that you can walk into a room and someone can fall in love with you. I can make sure that you can walk into a room and you have the vocabulary of an intelligent human being because that's what we're doing in my class. We're writing, we're researching, and we're understanding how to speak to people and speak about things. So yeah, I can get you through the interview.
Okay. Is the job you're doing right now the job of your dreams?
Come on, man, that's not fair. My boss is watching this. If I say no, I'm gonna get in trouble now. No. You know what? The job of my dreams is I've always wanted to be a college professor. I was actually named after my uncle, who's a college professor, and that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, I think that I've been teaching in high schools and middle schools since I was 21 years old. So I've been doing this for almost 10 years now, and so maybe another 5 or 6 years I'll do this. You know, get you to graduate. We'll have class together, and then when you're done, I'm going to be a college professor. I'm going to be a history professor, and I want to teach at a place like Harvard, Cambridge, or back at my alma mater, University of California, Santa Barbara.
Thank you for your time.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right.